Yeah, I have notes.
Oh
So
boy, I love notes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow, a whole page.
Oh, I have two.
Oh, 2 whole pages.
I have a quote to leave us on.
I'm so flattered and honored. Okay, let's do it.
I'm honored. Okay. This is Erika Ettin. She is a dating coach. She has 171,000 followers on Instagram, which is literally up by 4,000 in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
You're very popular.
Thank you. I feel popular. It's good. I like
Also, you guys, we are literally the same size. It's kind of wild.
This is ridiculous. Look how cute we are.
We're so cute.
Okay.
And we're wearing the same
outfit.
colors.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we kind of twins?
We might be.
I don't know.
We might. Where are you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
That's fine.
Yeah, where are you from?
South Jersey.
Okay, my dad grew up in Cherry Hill.
I grew up in Cherry Hill.
Shut up!
Is your dad... No. Okay, people are witnessing this.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So we might be twins. We might have some kind of relationship.
Great.
We don't know.
Great.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So Erika is a dating coach, as we've established.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little bit of a guru, kind of like a go-to for a lot of single folk here in New York who need help in the dating world because it's stressful out there, people.
Yeah.
If you've been on a dating app for 5 minutes, you know that it can be rough.
It can be.
Or it can be really fun.
Or it can be fun. Yeah.
We have so many things to discuss. So we have a real life dating coach and expert. And then I think that I used to be somewhat of a serial dater. Okay. Not a serial monogamous.
Okay.
Never that.
Okay.
But I think I told you that after one of my longest relationships ended, I went on 28 first dates in 1 month.
Was it February?
No, wait, that's funny. No, but it was August.
That's amazing. I think that's great.
And I actually went on sometimes 2 dates in one night. We'll get to that later.
No, I think that's good. You only need one outfit, one hairdo. It's perfect.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm all a fan of 1 hour or one drink, whatever
efficiency.
comes first.
I agree with you.
Okay. Let's get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think between the two of us, we might have some thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, you especially do.
I have many thoughts on
Yes.
most things.
So I thought today we could specifically break down the first date because I feel like my friends who are single and out in the world, this is the biggest thing for them. From the moment you swipe, match, getting to the first date itself, and then post first date.
Do you want to talk about all of that or just the first date?
I think that we should talk about those 3 segments.
Okay.
So let's start with you swipe, you match. What do we do? What do we say? Do you wait for somebody to text you?
No.
I don't either.
Good. Okay. So on Bumble, now anybody can write first. They've changed it. They think, it doesn't matter. Anyone should write anytime. I recommend writing immediately after you match with somebody because a lot of people will say to me, oh, that 24-hour timeline kills me. Well, it shouldn't kill you because all you have to do is match, write. Now, I understand that sometimes you swipe and then later they match with you, so you may not see it. You can always upgrade if you want to rematch with them. Anyway, regardless, what should you write? Generally, a statement and a question about something the other person has written in their profile. So I was on some coaching calls this morning and I was working with someone and we went through and we did rapid fire 8 messages on Hinge. So we found one thing in every person's profile. One, for example, pickleball. Okay. All the rage.
Have you played? All the rage.
I have not played.
No, me
either.
either. Okay. For the 2 people in New York who haven't played,
There's
that's cool.
courts everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, they both had not played, and this person was in Austin. And the woman said in her profile, I might be the only millennial in Austin who hasn't played pickleball. And my client, a guy, I helped him write his messages. He said, I'm a fellow millennial Austinite who hasn't pickled ball.
Cute.
And then it was should we start?
Yes.
So it's a comment and then a question. It indicates you read the message and you want the other person to answer. So give me another topic, any topic.
Pizza's their favorite food.
Okay, great. If we were going out for pizza, what topping should I expect you to order?
Oh, look at that.
Great. Actually, I did a pizza one this morning.
You did?
The person said, just getting through life one slice at a time or something.
Yeah.
And I said, basically that, I said, what topping is on your life pizza?
Yeah,
or just something like that.
Yeah.
So you can latch on to really anything. If they don't have anything worthwhile written, you can go to a picture. So if they're in a location you recognize, hey, is that Croatia? I went last year. What did you think?
Yeah.
Or that sailboat looks amazing. Where was that? I have to go.
Yes. So it feels like it's active, right?
It's
some
active.
people are like, hey, how's your day? That's boring. I don't care.
I don't even ask my best friends how they're doing.
I mean, like,
Not that I don't care. I
Right.
care very much.
right.
Do I care that much?
Yeah.
I don't need the minutia.
Right.
And we certainly don't need the minutia of strangers.
Exactly.
Okay, so anything is better than hey, hi, how are you? How's your day? How's your week? How's your day treating you? I don't know what this treating you business is. This treating, it's not treating me. It's like, I don't even know what that means. So any topic. Now, if you're like, oh my God, I've tried, I can't think of anything, then just make something up. I like, if you have no idea what to say, you seem like a fill in the blank. Am I right? You seem like someone who stays up past 11 just to, or stays up past midnight just to play Wordle.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah,
It's
who
out in
cares?
left field, but it's more interesting than, hey, what's up? You seem like you have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You seem like a really positive person. Am I right?
Yeah.
Who's not going to answer that?
Totally.
So that's what you can do if you have nothing to talk about.
Okay, I feel like that in and of itself is so helpful.
Thank you. But then I have to wonder, if there's nothing in the profile, why did you like it? Obviously because they're hot. I get it. But lazy profile, lazy dater.
person. I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
And people are surprised. So like when I'm guiding somebody through, so the way I coach people is they actually share their phone screen with me over Zoom and we swipe. It's amazing. And we swipe together. And it's amazing.
Wait, this
I mean,
is so
I did
fun.
4 back-to-back this morning. I mean, so much swipe. I mean, my eyes look like this emoji at the end, but
Okay.
I can see exactly what people are doing. And I, in real time, will look at a profile with a client and say whether I would choose them based on what is there. Now, obviously, the client can override my thoughts, but I like to give my immediate thoughts. And if there's no profile written, I
Okay.
say immediately, I say no profile.
Yeah.
And they're like, but, and then they're surprised
Yeah.
when the conversation goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So, or I'll say, I love this profile. Why wouldn't you pick this person? Or I don't like this one line. Like, sometimes there are questionable lines. And I'll give my opinion on that too, because I don't want to tell anyone what to do, but I do want to guide them in the direction like that I've learned through doing this, what to expect.
God, you must have seen like thousands of profiles.
I mean,
at this
more
point.
from a million. Who knows?
Millions.
Millions.
Okay, I feel like my friends would tell you, because I love to swipe for them too, and
Yeah.
sometimes like write responses to
Yeah.
people or start conversations.
Yeah.
I found something that has like a 98%.
All right, go for it. What is it?
Well, you can say just about anything, and
Uh-huh.
you throw in "sir" for a man, and I don't know what it is. But if you're like, oh, like pizza, whatever you were saying, "sir,"
I love it.
Swear to God, 100%
Great.
response rate. Any of my friends.
If
will tell
that
you
works, go nuts. I love a little 2 question marks at the end. I think it makes everything sound like a little bit flirtatious,
Yes.
and that's for a woman writing to a man.
Yes,
Sir,
Yeah.
I like it.
because it's like a little flirtation.
Yeah, it's cute.
Like it's just kind of cute without being too much.
I like it.
I've never not had someone respond back.
That's great.
So now it's going to be floating all
Okay,
around there.
make it a thing.
Okay, so something else I noticed with you.
Yes.
2 questions,
Yes.
a statement, and then we don't explain the 2 question
yes.
statement situation. Because
So-
this is all in text before we get to the
Correct. You match with someone, you write them a great message, your pickleball message, your pizza message, whatever.
Yes.
You say favorite pizza topping. They say pepperoni.
date. And you're like, oh, where would I...
Right.
Right. You're like, cool.
Okay. And I say something like, ooh, I'm more of a mushroom girl myself.
Yeah.
Are we doomed? Maybe something cute. And he says, no. At that point,
I'm bored.
that's the worst of it.
Yeah.
It could be that they're actually answering the question, like, oh, I'm going with the pizza. What's your favorite style of pizza? Deep dish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're answering the question, but they're not furthering
Engaging.
the conversation.
Yeah.
So at that point, I like to give 2 chances for them to ask a question back, and then just end it with a statement. So let's do it.
Okay.
So I'll give you nothing.
Okay. So tell me your favorite New York spot for pizza.
Oh, that's a hard one because I don't actually know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I gotta
Okay,
work
Central
on
Park
that.
or Riverside Park?
Oh, Central Park.
Oh, okay. Do you like to go on picnics with friends?
I do.
Cool.
That's it. So that's your statement.
Period.
Yeah, exactly. And now
Don't worry, I would be a much better texter in the dating
and
game,
I would
but-
be a much better converser. It pains me to not
Yeah.
ask you a question.
yeah.
I'm an inquisitive person.
Yeah.
So at that point, me not giving you anything, I see the cool. I'm probably not into it anyway, as the person who's not engaging, but maybe I'm just bad at this. So I see cool and I think to myself, well, what am I supposed to write back to her? Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't ask her, she didn't it's hard without questions. And then I might ask you a question like, how long have you lived in New York? 10% of the time, based on my experience, the person will come back and ask a question. Half of that 10%, the question is, how's it going?
Yeah.
How's the day treating you?
Yes. But still the effort is nice. Like, you just want to feel like if you're putting out the effort that you're getting that effort back. And if you're not, it's boring. And why would we want something with that person?
Yes. And also, I get a lot of questions. In fact, I got one this morning, and I may have saved the screenshot, where someone said to me, well, should I say to them, you can ask me a question, or if there's anything you want to know about me, let me know. My answer is actually no to that, because we're adults, and I don't think it's our job as an adult to teach another person how to have a back and forth conversation. Totally. I'm a fan of observing people's behavior early on and taking what we need from that. A woman sent me a message saying that she did my 2 questions in a statement and the conversation was dead as expected. And she said, I woke up feeling sassy. So I said to him, feel free to ask me a question, but she did it a little sassier than that. Yeah. And he sort of gave it to her.
So if you wake up feeling a little sassy, do you say that?
Just unmatch it.
Unmatch, yeah.
Yeah, because she went like, do you have anything to ask me? And her last message to him was an okay, cool. Yeah. And he's like, well, no, how am I supposed to respond to okay, cool? And she's like, well, that's the point, and it just wasn't worth it.
No. Oh, God, that's so interesting.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it lets you off the hook. I like the 2 questions in a statement because it gives you an end point and it says, okay, I'm not going to feel frustrated. I tried.
So then how long are you messaging on these apps before we get to the date?
Within a week, I'd like you to have a date set. So let's say you match on Friday. I'm not saying you have to meet the other person by next Friday, but by next Friday,
we should have a plan.
Yes, try to have a date planned. Now, if the conversation's going long and you're like, okay, get on it, and I understand that most women who date men want the men to ask. I get it. I know you're cringing because I agree that we both have agency and we should make what we want happen. I agree with that. So the way I've found to sort of get around it without overtly asking someone on a date, but basically saying I'm ready, is to say, hey, I'm really enjoying our conversation. Yeah. Where should we go from here? Yes. That way, it's their idea to ask. Yes. Now, a big piece of my advice, I'm sure you know, is don't exchange numbers before the actual date is planned. Time, date, location. Yes. Because then it goes into this texting abyss. Oh, God. I call texting the death of the first date. There's no sense of urgency over text. No. People say dumb stuff. And so, if they say, well, let's take it off the app, let's text, or let's do a call. I'm a fan of just meeting. So rather than saying, no, I don't like to do that, you're going to upgrade them and say, or it might be more fun if we just meet. I'm free next Tuesday or Wednesday. Yes. What do you think? So that way, you're not saying, no, I'm not giving you my number. You're saying, I'll do you one better. Yes. You get to meet me.
Yes, and how lucky are you?
How lucky are you?
That's what I mean. I gotta be honest. Speaking from a gal's POV, I don't get the not wanting, needing the man to ask me out.
I agree. I like to go for what you want.
I agree. I feel like if you think it, you should say it. If you want it, you should do it. Because if that's your person, they'll want to go on the date. And if they're not your person, they'll be like, no, or try and drag on the texting. And then we just expedite the situation.
I agree with you 100%. You shouldn't sit back and wait for life to happen to you. Yeah. I also see the other side that many women like to feel pursued. So I try to bridge that gap, basically taking control. Yeah. But if you don't want to feel like you're totally the aggressor, someone asked me yesterday, a female client of mine asked me yesterday, she's scheduling a date with this guy. I don't know how far they live, maybe 30 minutes. And he's like, yeah, I've been to your area before. I've been to this Mexican place and this Irish bar. Both are good. Why don't you tell me where you want to meet? And she texted me very frustrated. And she said, I'm sick of planning dates. I don't want to do it. And I said, so say to him, tell me the name of the Mexican place and I'll meet you there. Great. And so it's teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting.
So it's not like, ew, plan this date, pick something. And I told her, we're turning what's negative to you
into a positive thing. Yeah. Because I also think there's kind of something, I always personally liked planning it because I wanted to be in control of it.
And you get to go where you want.
That's what I mean. Because I also like to take the pressure off of the date with that person. So I wanted to create the experience that I wanted, knowing that I would have fun either way.
Yeah, I see both sides of it. I generally recommend women saying, I'll be coming from fill in the blank neighborhood if that helps with planning. I do think that's a good way to do it because it does show if the person is willing to come to you. Again, many women who date men want the guy to come to them for the first date, and I agree with that. It's for safety. It's for just show you want to try a little bit to make it convenient for her. Because if the guy picks something in his backyard,
oh, forget it.
That is selfish.
We can meet halfway, but like to have somebody come directly to your neighborhood and make it convenient for you.
So I'll give them one chance. So if a client tells me he picked something near him, it'll take me 40 minutes to get there. I'll say either you decline the date or you say, you know, that's really not convenient for me. Would you mind coming my way?
Yeah.
Give it one chance.
Totally.
Because many times what we think is like some nefarious intent could just be cluelessness.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know what they're doing.
Totally. And sometimes I actually like the people that don't know what they're doing, like that aren't so good at dating. Because maybe then, I don't know. I remember being on dating apps and choosing the people that actually didn't have the best profile picture.
I
like
see that.
not the selfies, because I'm like, you're too good at this. If you're too good at this game, I'm not into it.
Are you watching The Bachelorette?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Wait, tell me.
Well, okay, there's this really obnoxious, I don't know when this is coming out, so maybe he will be sent home by then. But there's this really obnoxious guy, Sam, who they had to do this little strip tease on one of the dates. And he was almost so good at it that it was
scary,
unappealing.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
If you're too good at taking the photos, if your photos are like too mastered, and
I don't know.
too like,
I'm like, why is he gyrating so well? We want to. I always like to say, let's reward effort. So like, I'll see when someone's sharing their screen with me. Maybe a woman who feels frustrated by the process, and then I'll see her screen and she's got 100 likes in Hinge, and I'll get like mad for a minute and be like, what are we doing here? She's like, I'm overwhelmed. And we'll go through it methodically, and I say, let's reward effort. So I make her go through, if she's paying for Hinge, she can see all of her likes at the same time. We go through the ones who have written a message first.
Okay.
That's the first level. And then once we're done with those, then we go through just the likes.
That's smart. I would only want the people who like commented.
Then you're not going to get that many people because most people are liking because sadly they've probably written messages at some point and then they got frustrated and they're like, it's not working, I'm just going to like, which is the opposite of the advice I would give because the less hard you try, it's going to work less. Totally. But unfortunately, a lot of people after getting frustrated try less hard. And I see a lot of that because depending on my mood, so if I'm out just socially for me, inevitably someone will ask what I do, I'll tell them, and then they'll be like, I hate online dating. And it drives me nuts because one, I'm not at work. Yeah.
And you're like, are you paying me? Right. No, so stop.
And two, depending on my mood, I'll either say, oh yeah, or, you know, sorry, or maybe I'll say like, if I'm feeling, you know, generous, I'll be like, well, tell me what's happening. Yeah. Show me your phone. Yeah. And normally when I do that, I actually see a lot of activity. Yeah. And it's on the person. Yeah. And that's frustrating for me because sometimes when people feel, I don't know, overwhelmed, they'll do less. And that's not how it's going to work.
So then would you suggest to people like that, maybe don't swipe as much on people?
Well, I say newer doesn't mean better. Go through the backlog of matches. Actually answer people. I was on a coaching session this morning, and there were 8 messages my client had not answered yet, and she was complaining about dating. I said, well, you're the one stopping these conversations. What's going on here? And I didn't mean it like in a mean way. I actually meant, like, what is going on here? Right. And she's like, well, maybe I don't like any of them. I'm like, maybe you do, though. Yeah, we don't know. And so I understand that sometimes you feel paralyzed when you're like, I don't know what to do, so I will look, my to-do list is very long. Sometimes I feel paralyzed, like it's so long I don't even know where to start. Yeah. And so I love doing things in bite-sized chunks, like a little bit here, a little bit there. We go through 5 people at a time. Yeah. And then 5 more people. Totally. And it feels much more just like if you have a health goal, for example. You're not going to, finish that goal within a week. Totally. You're going to do a thing here and maybe change your diet and maybe go to the gym. Like, it takes time.
Yeah. I think with that, I always just would choose, like, swipe fewer.
Yes.
Have, like, and then stop once I had, like, 4 matches, and then go on a couple dates, and then start over
Correct.
if those didn't keep going. But, the
the
backlog
goal
feels
is not
stressful.
to accumulate. I practice inbox 0.
Yeah.
So, like, it's important to me to have a very clean inbox.
So then, let's just say it's a week and a half.
Okay.
Like, let's plan the date.
Plan the date.
We're successful.
Yay.
However we get there.
Great.
Whether you, as the woman, ask the man asks you.
We're high-fiving.
Yeah.
Okay. We love success.
Success.
Okay.
But then, I didn't even know this was a thing until I saw your Instagram.
The confirming.
Confirming.
I can't take it!
Wait.
Okay.
Since when did this become a thing?
People are so afraid of getting stood up or getting canceled on that they're confirming every 4 seconds.
If someone confirms once, we show up to the date, correct?
Yes.
That's
Now,
normal, right?
It is a nice gesture, and I do recommend confirming a day before the date.
Right.
So let's say you scheduled a date 4 or 5 days out. Today is Friday, then we're recording this. Let's say you have a date Tuesday. I would text on Monday. And when I say I don't care what gender you are. I don't care who you are.
Yes.
Confirm your date Monday.
Yes.
And say, not are we still on for tomorrow? Does tomorrow still work for you? How's tomorrow looking?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Assume if it's scheduled, it is on, unless the other person tells you proactively that they are not making it. You say, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7.
Yes. Done. Where's the complication?
Well,
just like what is happening in people's minds?
So, let's say you're going on a date Tuesday, and Monday rolls around, and you think it's the guy's responsibility to confirm. I think it's anybody's responsibility.
Totally.
Would it be nice? Sure.
Yeah.
However, she'll now come to me Monday night in a huff and say, he hasn't confirmed tomorrow. I'm getting anxious. Do I have a date? I don't know what to do. And this is not making fun of her. This is saying this is what actually happens.
Right.
And I say, text him, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. No, I want to make sure he does. And I said, then you show up on your date.
Yeah.
But don't assume it's not on because you haven't heard from this person.
I think what's hard is, like, if somebody's living with that much anxiety, like, do something that's going to release you of that anxiety.
Yeah, I know it's like easier said than done.
Obviously.
Right.
But it's like, the reason why I get always, like, flustered when I hear that, I'm like, you are a woman or a man, like, you have agency over yourself. Like, why are you letting that other person make you feel this way?
Right. And I'm very protective of people's schedules. I know we're all busy, and so I will say, I don't want you leaving it free without confirming if, that doesn't make you happy.
No, because then the whole next day, all you're thinking about is, do I or don't I have this date?
That's correct, and I don't want that for anybody.
Yeah, it's a waste of your time.
It is a waste of time, exactly. Yeah. So let's just, on the record, make plans, show up to said plans, but it is a really nice gesture to confirm the day before with a confident confirmation of looking forward to seeing you.
Totally.
It's funny, my friends know this about me. I get really annoyed when people confirm too many times because I know that strangers don't know how reliable I am, but I am.
Oh God, I did confirm with you for this.
No. I'm glad you did. But what I was gonna say is my friends joke with me. They'll text me like 10 minutes before, and they'll be like, "Are we still on?" And because they know my reaction. And now one of my friends just sends me one emoji, and he knows. But I understand in a world where people are flaky. I get it. I can understand why people are so anxious about this because people are flaky.
Totally.
But instead of confirming them, why don't we let them do what they're gonna do?
Yes. And I would just like to say, anyone out there who is a flaky person, don't do that. That's not nice.
It's not nice. The minute you need to cancel on somebody. Don't just unmatch someone.
Oh my God.
Terrible. One of my clients went in to confirm her date for this weekend. Her date was gone from Hinge. And
wait, who is doing that?
People are doing it.
Sound off below if you've ever do that, because we don't like that.
They think there's no recourse, there's no accountability. It's horrible behavior.
See, I think that's what's scary about the internet. Like, we need to operate in all of these things as if that is somebody who lives down the street from you.
Right. So I will say, just to the person who's been stood up or canceled on before, rather than trying to combat that by confirming a million times and showing the insecurity that you think that somebody is going to not show up.
Yes.
Do your one confirmation.
I love that.
And assume they're going to show up. And if on the off chance they don't, be prepared for that. But I hope that doesn't happen.
Totally. And I like confirming with a statement, not a question.
Confirming with a statement, not a question. And if you really want to use the word confirm, just say confirming tomorrow at 7.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so what do you do? Because I hear this with a lot of my friends right now. Somebody will be like, oh yeah, let's get together this weekend. Sounds fun. Let's figure it out closer to the time.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, but I want like a time. Like I want
know, I'm the same way as you.
I'm like, I can't be like, yeah, I'll see you Saturday. I'm like, are we going for brunch? Are we going for lunch? Are we going for drinks? Are we going for dinner? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, I would rather over-communicate that and say, okay, well, I'm free at this time. Does that work for you?
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's
it. And so me personally...
You don't have to wait around for somebody else to tell you when they're free.
No, exactly. So my whole thing is I felt like dinner was like a big obligation for a first date.
It is. I would do a drink or a coffee or a walk.
Yes. Yeah. I always kind of said, and honestly, I think men liked that I asked people on dates because women actually don't do that. So it always worked out in my favor.
They also like compliments because they never get compliments.
They love compliments. Like they love when a woman asks them out.
Right. I will say too, if a guy makes a suggestion of a place, I always tell a client to say, thank you so much for suggesting that.
Totally.
I really appreciate the suggestion.
Totally. They need to hear it.
Men's number one complaint is that they don't feel appreciated.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I would always be like, and I think that men actually kind of liked the sassiness because sometimes I feel like women are so careful, and I get why, but I think that there's something fun about being a little sassy and being like 1 drink or 1 hour, whichever one comes first.
That's adorable. Also, though, you're really cute. So that doesn't hurt.
Sometimes I would ask, like, these men would be like, after an hour, they'd be like, okay, well, I know you said 1 hour, but like, we're having such a good time. And I'd be like, I have another date in 30 minutes. They would walk me to the next date. Sassiness is good, folks. Depending if you do it in
It's confidence.
Way. It's confidence.
It's confidence.
Yes. Not rude, because honestly,
no, I understand.
I wasn't rude.
I mean, I remember an ex of mine told me, I didn't remember doing this, but it is something I would do. I may or may not have corrected his grammar very early on. Who could remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like something I probably did.
Yeah.
And you know what he said to me? That's a girl with options.
Yes! Exactly. Like, act like you have options because you do.
Yeah, and so, like, if you're waiting to get to someone else's, just write, hey, I'm getting my calendar squared away for next week. Yes. What works for you? Yeah. You would say that to me. You would say that to a friend.
Right.
And so, I don't want, if you're a planner and someone is like, let's play it by ear, and you're not a play it by ear person, I want you to express, not in a, like, I'm not a play-by-ear person. No. Don't do that to me. But more of a, I'm a planner. Yeah. You mind if
I'd be like, that kind of stresses me out not to know what's going on.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, I've told people to write, I'm a planner.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
And I think that there's something
people
about,
respect you more.
That's what I mean. And, like, if we stop making it so precious and make it more fun, I think that it just organically becomes something...
Well, you have the right attitude about it.
But this is like your NATO.
It is like NATO.
Should we bring up NATO? Okay, not attached to outcome.
Yes. What I mean by NATO is so many people go into a first date and they put such pressure on themselves. Is this going to be my person? Totally. This is a stranger. Yeah. Who you'll talk to for maybe 1 hour, maybe 1 drink. And it's like, we shouldn't actually know. And to expect that person to be able to showcase their entire self in that 1 hour is really unfair. Totally. I can't do that. No. You're not going to know the whole me after 1 hour. Right. And so it puts undue pressure on both you and your date. What is it, like Dance Monkey? You know, like nobody can perform like that. And so NATO is really just a mindset of not being so attached to this end goal and more just getting to know each person individually to see how they may or may not fit into your life. Yes, and have like a little fun with it. Dating should be fun. I hate that fun has become synonymous with like casual sex sometimes, like just looking for fun. I want dating to be fun.
Oh my god, when I was single, I had the most fun dating. Right. And when I stopped having fun, then I'd be like, oh, this is
I'll
time
take a break for a little bit.
Take a break.
Exactly.
Because that's totally valid. I just think whatever stage you're in, you should be able to have fun with it. And if you can't, put a pause and be like, I'm just going to focus on me for a little bit.
Agree, because it's the most frustrating when someone comes to me and says, I hate dating, I want to be in a relationship. And I'll say, well, what does that mean? And they'll be like, well, I want to fast forward to the part where we're comfortable, we're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. And I always say, like, I can't think of a worse fate than sitting on the couch with a stranger watching Netflix because you skipped the dating and you jumped to the relationship. That's why these reality shows, that's why they don't work so often, because you don't know the other person. You're
Totally.
thrust into this relationship
Yeah.
with a stranger. I mean, the dating is the exciting.
That's what I mean. It's fun.
You can't get that time back.
Totally. Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
we fast forwarded to the date
Yes.
itself, and NATO, like having that perspective going in is really healthy and positive.
Yeah.
We're on the date. Are there any things that you're like, don't say this,
Yes.
don't ask that? Tell me.
A million.
Yeah.
I don't care if you learn nothing about your date. I want you to leave thinking, I had a nice time.
Yeah.
I felt good.
Yeah.
I felt attractive.
Yeah.
Maybe I felt attracted.
Totally.
I don't care how many siblings they have. I don't care their relationship with their, with all of their family members.
Yeah.
I don't want to know how long they've been divorced. People are so concerned about, quote, wasting time that they're trying to speed up the process. I sometimes say, like, don't microwave your chicken nuggets. They taste much better when you bake them.
Yeah.
Or air fry them, I'm told.
I love
Look,
air
I don't
fry.
have a lot of counter space.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
but you're trying to microwave your chicken nuggets when you're
Yes.
asking questions like, so, when was your last relationship? When was your divorce? Tell me this. What's your relationship with your parents? How long have you been single?
Yeah.
What's your custody situation?
It becomes like an interview.
It's not only an interview, but it's scary and off-putting for people. Yeah, exactly. And I have to tell my clients who are doing that to people, stop doing that, because they might be great.
Yeah.
But now you've put them on the spot, and it feels like a test, like you said.
Yeah.
And to the person who's getting grilled, one, I'll just say to you, you're not required to answer personal questions to somebody you don't know. So that's number one. But two, take this for what it is. They're not asking because they actually care about your relationship with your parents or how long you've been divorced. They're asking for selfish reasons because they want to hear, oh, bad relationship with the parents, ooh, red flag. Or I'm making
it's
this
like
up.
a way to like weed them out.
Yeah, or, ooh, only been divorced a month, not ready. Or been divorced 10 years, why?
Yeah.
Or, oh, 50-50 custody, I'm never going to have time to sleep over.
Yeah.
People are asking for their own agenda. And so just keep that in mind. These prying questions are less about you and about their own anxiety because they're trying to speed this up and rule people out. That is not the way I recommend dating.
Yeah.
I recommend getting to know someone because you know what? You're going to be a lot more sympathetic to somebody's story if you know them as a person better. Someone this morning on a coaching session said to me, family's really important. If they're not close to their family, I don't want to date them. And I said, what if their family's awful and it took a lot for them to extract themselves?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a positive?
Well, and like that might actually make them value family even more because they didn't have it.
So it's just like stop asking these pointed questions out of context to try to save time. Just get to know a person, just as we'd want for us.
Totally. I know people in relationships who have thought going into that relationship, I would never
Correct.
date somebody who's divorced or with kids or who has this and this. And then that's actually the person they end up with. And that is like their goddamn soulmate. And you would have like literally just shipped them off.
Correct.
We don't like that.
No, we don't like that. I remember once a client said to me, she was dating a guy for 6 months. They were in love. This was her person. And she found out he does mushrooms every 3 months. The drug. I don't know, because we talked about pizza toppings. Okay.
Not the pizza topping.
I'm just saying, we were talking about pizza before.
No, that was a fair. That was fair. Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
So
and
what-
she was like, I would never be with someone who does drugs. And I'm like, but you are with someone who does. Well, I should have asked that on the first date. And I said, why? She goes, because I wouldn't have gone out with him again. And I said to her, you are in love with this man. Would you would you take away the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, that kind of gave me chills.
Yeah.
Like,
and
if
it
somebody-
really made her think.
good. I mean, listen, if someone's like, I shoot up heroin every day, maybe that's a little different, but a little
I mean,
shrimp
I
every once in a while.
Listen,
I don't do it, but like power to you.
I can't say what's acceptable and what,
Yes.
that's not my place.
Right.
But she had this hard line, or so she thought.
Yeah,
And yet she fell in love with this man, and it clearly did not impact their relationship.
of course.
And so it just goes to show that we're a lot more lenient, we're a lot more patient, we're a lot more compromising when we actually get to know a full person. And getting to know them with these pointed questions out of context. If he had said, yes, I do drugs every 3 months when I'm with my friends,
Yeah.
she would have dismissed him and missed out on this beautiful relationship.
I hope she's still with him.
I have, no, it was years ago. I have no idea.
if you're hearing this, let us know.
I mean, I remember who it was. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So good. So we are on this date. We're having a great time. It's nice.
Clicking and
We're
clacking.
like, okay, so that's good.
Yes.
Let's also imagine a date where we're like not clicking and clacking, but like you're not sure.
Click. We're just so off. It's just not working.
It's not working.
Okay.
What do we do? What do we do? Let's start actually first with like, it's clicking. It's great. It's
Great.
the end of the date.
Uh-huh.
How do we leave it? Who texts first?
Who cares?
I agree.
I had a great time. I would love to do this again.
Yes. Because right? Like if that is your person.
Who cares? In
You
fact,
would think he or she would love
They would
somebody.
love that. And if they're not, who cares?
We got there faster.
You know what I like
Let's
to
not
say?
drag this out.
I think I like you.
I say it too. I'm like, I have a little crush.
Yeah, I think I like you. Yeah.
Guys.
No, we would get along fine.
I know. I'm like, wow.
I think I like you.
I know.
There's no problem. I don't care who. I don't care if you, I've texted people 5 minutes after the date and been like, "Oh my god, I had the best time. I
Yes.
can't wait to do it again."
I remember going.
Text someone while you're on the date.
Yeah, I'm like, exactly. You're in the bathroom. You're like, I'm in the bathroom waiting in line, but I should let you know I have a really big crush.
A friend of mine made fun of me once because a long time ago, there was someone I really liked.
Yeah.
And we were all out in a group, and I was in the bathroom, and I said to him over text, "I'm enjoying talking to you."
Oh, cute.
And I came back out, and I told her, and she's like, "You are ridiculous." And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes, but it's cute and charming.
What's the worst that happens?
Right.
I say to you, I had a great time. I want to do this again, and you don't want to do it again. Oh, well. It generally is very clear if somebody likes you. If you're not sure, you can always, again, send that text and say, "Not sure how you felt, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed myself, and I would love to do it again."
Yes.
I don't care who texts.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling it,
Oh, yeah. What do you do? Because this whole ghosting world.
don't do it.
Don't do it. Be nice.
So-
Again, imagine that this person like lives across the street from you or knows your mother or dad. Like you wouldn't not
I can't
respond.
even imagine not responding to somebody.
No.
If somebody asks you out on the date for another date and you know you're not into it, it is up to you how to decide what to do with that. I feel like you would say it in the moment because you're comfortable. Many people are not, and I don't blame them.
No, it can be uncomfortable because you
can-
don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
So-
That's why people ghost.
So you can say, "Feel free to be in touch.
yeah.
You know, I had a really nice time. Feel free to be in touch." And then when they get in touch, you can nicely say, "I thought about it. I'm just not feeling the connection I'm looking for, but thank you again for a really nice time. Wish you the best."
Yes.
That's it.
This is great.
It's
That's all it has to be.
That's all it has to be. You can personalize it if you want. It was fun talking about pickleball, whatever,
Yeah.
pizza.
Mushroom toppings.
Yeah, mushrooms of all kinds.
Or the drug, whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, just honesty is the best policy. I don't
Yes.
know. Honesty, tact, kindness. If you have those three things, that's all you can give to another person. I mean, the general reason, you know this, the reason people ghost is they have rationalized incorrectly. I mean, they know what they're doing. But they have said, "Well, I don't want to hurt this person, so it's kinder to not say it." No, it's not. You know it's not. You're
No.
only doing it to protect yourself.
Yes, and to
because
make it
it's
easier for
It's
you.
not even uncomfortable. It's over text.
Yeah.
It's not even like you can see somebody's reaction.
Right.
And so it normally goes pretty well
Yeah.
when you say, "I'm not feeling." Now, obviously, sometimes it goes off the rails, but that's not a reflection on how you kindly declined. That's a reflection on the other person.
Totally. I also think there's something that happens, and I've seen this with some of my friends, where they'll be like, "Oh, thanks, it was like such a nice date," and the person writes back and is like, "Oh yeah, so nice chatting with you." Crickets. But like, I just wish that if that is the response and it's like, "Oh,
Right.
you're not into it,"
Right.
kind of like cap it off, say something to let the other person know,
I would
or should we just assume?
I would prefer that also. Now, let's say you go on a first date and neither of you likes each other.
Yeah.
Then it's usually pretty obvious, and I don't necessarily think there's a need to cap it off because you agree.
Yeah.
I believe in closure when somebody asks you a question, "Do you want to go out again?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they deserve a response.
Yes.
That's what I would consider ghosting
Yes.
if you don't respond. But if someone just says, "Had a great time," you say, "Thanks, me too," and then there's no follow-up, I think
like-
that's pretty clear.
Yeah. So, okay. So,
Okay.
being on this whole dating circuit, like you have been doing this for 13 years.
13 years.
Okay. Is there anything that like annoys you when it happens? Like when you hear of things, like what annoys you?
I mean, many things.
Yeah. Is there anything that's like a trend right now? Like ghosting is annoying. People
is
who
annoying.
don't say what they really feel or want, like that's annoying. Or
I'll tell you something I personally have a hard time with. I would call it less annoying, but more just a side of humanity sometimes I wish I didn't see. Since I get to know people pretty intimately, I feel honored that many people tell me who they're looking for in a partner. I like having people's trust.
yeah.
But sometimes with that comes things I don't want to hear. Particular biases against different demographics of people. Race, ethnicity, religion.
What do you do with that? Does it ever make you not want to work with that person? Yeah.
Or just dismissing people for reasons that I think are just superficial, but more ignorant sometimes. And it does make me not want to work. I have fired clients before. I don't mind when somebody has preferences if they've actually thought through the why behind their preferences. But if you say all blank are blank, all X are Y.
Yeah, that would be very hard to
It's hard. And I'm a very positive person, and I find sometimes that if I end a call and I just want to cry, I probably shouldn't be working with this person.
100%.
And I wish it didn't bother me. But I'm human.
Of course,
and
it's
it
gonna
does
bother you. Yeah.
And I don't know how to get around that. And like, where is the line between preference and prejudice? I don't know. Well, it's my preference. I'm just not attracted to fill in the blank. But right, you're making the face I want to make, but I'm on Zoom.
Yeah. Oh God.
And so I'll often do push back, and I don't try to change people. That's not my job.
Yeah, no.
But my job is to make them ask themselves why.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Totally. That's hard.
So that is a frustration of mine. It's so clear to me who's going to be successful when I work with them because they are the more open-minded people. They are the people who say, who will take into account not just what somebody looks like, but also what they've written and also, all the things. That's a client who's going to be successful.
Okay, wait. Okay, I don't want to take too much of your time.
Okay.
But I'm like, I just want to make sure.
Great.
Okay. A lot of my single friends say that it's harder now to meet somebody than it was even like 3 years ago on a dating app.
Sure, okay.
Do you think that there's like a trend? Like, do you think that there's a reason for this?
I don't disagree that it can be harder now. I think there is that paradox of choice that when you have so many options, each one, you're not as happy with your choice, and two, each one feels more disposable. Each one feels more like a commodity. I don't like that.
I don't either.
I think the apps are amazing, but that is a downside that there are so many people now that everyone seems a little bit more expendable.
That's sad. That's a hard thing.
It is very sad. I also think that people's behavior has gotten way worse in terms of just how people treat people. And I don't think that's unique to dating. I think that's technology. I think when you have a technology where you don't have to see people's face, it makes you feel like you're not accountable anymore. And unfortunately, because a lot of dating now comes from the apps, people have a lack of accountability. And yes, I do think that makes it worse in many ways. But to make that your entire experience, I wouldn't recommend. So just because you have some bad experiences, be grateful that they've shown their true colors early. And there are plenty of amazing people out there, but you do have to weed through a lot. And I agree, it can feel frustrating and draining. Anything that's important in life, whether it be finding a job, finding a partner, finding a home, whatever, takes time and energy and often money.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to me where, like, if you get laid off from a job, you'll put together a resume. You might pay someone to help you with that. You'll write a cover letter. You'll send out a bunch of stuff. You might go on some interviews. And you might not like them. They might not like you.
Yeah.
But you don't say, working's not for me,
Yeah.
But in dating, it's like people get very, very, I don't know the word, frustrated, but something more than that, after a few bad experiences, and they want to throw in the towel. But I think each experience gets you one step closer to what you do want, because you're learning about other people, you're letting them weed themselves out, and you're learning about yourself.
Yeah. Love that.
Thanks.
Okay, do you think that people overcomplicate dating? Is there something that they...
I think people overcomplicate everything.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, most of it, like we talked about earlier, is just having straightforward communication. I think, yeah, people overcomplicate things all the time. And I understand that. Who hasn't been in a situation where
totally.
we overthink? Myself
my God.
included. That's normal. We're human.
100%.
Whatever. But, yeah, I think things are way overcomplicated. Generally, if you don't know, ask. If someone says something that you don't understand, I don't understand sarcasm most of the time. I ask people to clarify 3 times a day. I say to someone, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. At least 3 times a day.
I think that was actually in one of your Instagram
It was.
And someone was like, oh, you didn't catch the joke. And you're like, oh, didn't get that or whatever. And I was like, good. At
I
least you
didn't get
asked.
it.
Let's be clear.
Well, I like clarity. Even this
Yes.
morning at the gym, there's a guy in class who I know like tangentially, but he's very negative. And I should stop talking to him because it brings me no joy. But I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And I told him something. This is so silly. He's like full tattoos.
Okay.
And I said, I have something you'll appreciate. I said, I got a tattoo on a whim the other day.
Yeah.
I did.
Wow. I love that.
Okay.
Okay, fun.
And so I say, so tell me how you would respond to that. Hey, I got a tattoo on a whim the other day.
Oh my God, what'd you get? That's so
Okay,
fun.
great. That's a normal response.
Yeah.
His was, should you even be here right now?
Wait, stop. Wait, I'm sorry. Sir, what are you referring? What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess there are rules about like sweating. I don't know. That's not what the guy told. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
And
What'd you say?
I said, can we start with the positive before you get to the critical?
What did he say?
He said, you do you and I'll do me.
Oh, okay.
And I said, okay.
yeah. Bye.
So it's not the first time that's happened with this person, so I should have not.
Well, that's interesting. Also, like when people show you who they are,
Yeah,
like believe
and this
it.
is not a dating. This
No,
is
no,
just
of course.
a guy
Right.
at the gym. But what I'm saying there,
Yeah.
is I just said the thing.
Yeah.
And I think so many people today are just so afraid to say the thing.
Yeah, because I think they're scared of being perceived as like bitchy or something. I don't know. But it's like not. It's just honest.
It doesn't matter.
God, even like last week, I had to like write this difficult email like for a work thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I must have read it 3 times. I asked people to read it.
Great.
And it was just honest and straightforward.
Perfect.
But there were like no LOLs or X's and O's. And
Oh, I hate
exclamation-
an LOL to cover
I
a
know.
seriousness.
Great. But it felt so uncomfortable to me. And I'm like, this is what I need to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I can be this way in my dating life,
Right.
I need to be like this in my
Yeah.
career. But it's so much harder for
It
me
is.
in my career because I actually want it more.
I get
And
that.
that's the thing. It's like, I think that's why some people are super careful with dating because they want it so badly.
I understand.
I'm like that with my career.
I helped a woman the other day craft a text message to somebody, and I was so proud of her for taking the advice and doing it. She had gone on 2 or 3 dates with this guy. She had slept with him, so I understand she was feeling very emotionally connected to him. And he wasn't initiating as much, and she noticed. And I respected that she said to him, like, it makes me feel like you're not that interested when you don't initiate text. So, like, if you are, can you?
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, that's great.
It was great. I commended her on that. But then she was like, but if you're not, let me, it was,
Oh, yeah.
but still,
Yeah.
I was proud of her.
Yeah, that's great.
And
Put it
he
in
said,
there.
I totally get it, I understand. And then he stopped texting her. And so that was her answer.
Yeah.
Now, 2 weeks later, I didn't love that she did this, but that's okay. Things happen. She texted him. She said, I guess you're really not into me, huh? Just like clearly.
Yeah.
And he comes back and says, yeah, I've been busy. I'm free next week if you want to get together. And she asked me what to do. And I was really glad she asked at that exact point.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, look, you can meet him. You can sleep with him again.
Mm-hmm.
But you are low-hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
You're easy. He knows he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I made this, it just came out of my mouth. I said, be the top orange.
Yes. Yes.
Like the one at the top of the tree that it takes like a ladder or something. Be the top orange. And so I said to her, you're going to feel badly about yourself if you do this again. Like the writing was on the wall. So I said, what I recommend, and I phrased it nicer than I'll probably say it now, but it was just like, unfortunately, I'm looking for more consistent communication in the early stages of dating, so I'm going to have to pass. It was really, I enjoyed our 3 dates. Best of luck.
Yeah, totally.
I was so proud of her for
That's
taking that advice.
amazing.
And I said, I'm not a betting woman,
Yeah.
but I bet within the next 10 minutes he will send you a text back and say, I respect that. Thanks.
Yep.
And he did.
Yes! We have to act like we are the top orange on
The
that
top
goddamn
orange.
tree.
Yeah. Is that
Yes.
how orange trees work?
I don't know.
I don't
Is
either.
that-
We're from the East Coast. I don't know.
What is like the top thing that we need to behave
Well, I
like?
thought, okay, there's top banana, and I looked up what that means because I thought, am
what
I
is
just stealing a different phrase?
Okay, is
that
that-
just means like you're the CEO, like you're the head, you're the big
Whatever, we should be behaving like we're
the
the
top orange.
Yes, we're the top orange.
Yeah. Except we say it differently.
I know, I noticed that as we
Orange.
said it. I noticed that you were like orange, and I was like orange, and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Yeah, caramel.
Oof.
Oof.
That's fine.
Water. Just kidding. My dad grew up saying
I
that.
am from outside. Okay, what was your quote?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a quote to end this on because this is one of my favorite quotes from romantic comedies.
Ooh.
Nancy Meyer, The Holiday. Eli Wallach's character says, in The Holiday, he let you go. This is not a hard one to figure out. Iris, in the movies, we have leading ladies and we have the best friend. You, I can tell, are a leading lady, but for some reason you are behaving like the best friend. To which Kate Winslet's character replied, you're so right. You're supposed to be the leading lady of your own life, for God's sake. And that is the truth.
I love it.
We all need to be acting like we are the leading lady in our own, leading man, whatever, in our own goddamn life.
I love it.
And on that note, peace.
We did it.